Since I wasn't able to get my episode 8 review out last week, I'm doing another 2-in-1, the school episodes. Episode 8 starts with Mayu practicing her introduction to herself and Yuki. She's stressing about the first day of school and grabs Yuki to shove her face into to make herself feel better. Yuki is displeased but tolerates this when she sees how much holding her calms Mayu down. I love how much Yuki loves Mayu. She's very cat-like, yeah, but they're also leaning into the fact that this affection goes both ways, and that's lovely. Sometimes when trying to make cat-like characters, people make them too detached and aloof, when a lot of cats are very social, especially to their chosen people. Iroha oversleeps slightly and starts rushing off to school, only to stop when she sees Komugi following her. She gently explains why Komugi can't come with her before making a break for it. Komugi is upset, but I don't think her tantrum is nearly as bad as they have been, so it looks like the character development is sticking. Good for her. Iroha gets to school, and we finally get to meet some supporting characters. I had been hoping that since this season had themes of friendship that we'd get to see some good civilian besties, and I am very pleased. We meet two of Iroha's friends, and though I didn't hear their names in the episode, the website tells me that their names are Okuma and Kanye, meaning Big Bear and Crab, respectively, which is reflected in their character designs, and I think it's just delightful. There are also several other classmates of theirs that have suspiciously put together designs, and I can't wait to learn all of their names and stories. Satoru is flustered to realize that he and Iroha are in the same class, especially when Iroha says that her wish came true, calling back to episode 1. They continue to be adorable, and I especially appreciate Satoru silently pumping his fist to himself when she isn't looking. It's Mayu time, and her worst fears are sadly realized as she gets distracted and flubs her own name in her introduction. It's fine though, Iroha saves her, and gets her talking about Yuki, which she's also embarrassed about, but at least now the class is endeared to her. I'm liking this class a lot so far. Meanwhile, Komugi has been without Iroha for less than an hour at this point and decides that she is going to go to school to be with Iroha. She becomes human and runs off to find the school. Shortly after, she realizes she has no idea where the school is and decides to smell her way there, startling every random person around her. Yeah. Back at school, Mayu is ambushed by her classmates, all asking her questions. It's not exactly what she was worried about, but she does get very overwhelmed. Very fast. We also learn that the city that Mayu originally lived in was Koizumi Gakuen, which is the city where Futariwa Max Heart takes place. A fun Easter egg. Komugi, on her way to school, gets distracted by the scent of fish. Then the scent of meat. Then the scent of flowers, so on and so forth. I love how much they're letting her be a dog. It's the same every episode, but it never fails to make me smile. This girl is not human. She's a dog. It's still just so great. She tires herself out running everywhere, to the point of losing her human form, and once again finds that she is lost. Well, until she spots Pretty Holic. She dashes over to go bother Yuki. Side note, but one of the things that I am most excited for with Yuki getting her human form is her talking to Komugi. From this scene alone, I am expecting a top-tier dynamic. Iroha gets to show Mayu around the school, and show off her friendship skills in the process. We already knew that Komugi and Satoru loved Iroha, and now we get to see that everybody likes Iroha. Mayu is amazed, and maybe a little jealous. We also learn that their school is nicknamed Wanyan-chu, which is hilarious and I love it. Very on theme, the season knows what it's about. Iroha then shows Mayu the entire mini zoo that their school just has. Again, very on theme. It's honestly so cool. The high school that I went to had several animals, but only the vet students were allowed to handle them. Being given animal care volunteer opportunities at a middle school? They're living the dream. Or my dreams, at least. We found out that Satoru is in the biology club. Unsurprising, but cool. And that he does health checks for the turtles that their school raises. Again, this middle school raises turtles. Dream school. Also, side note, but this scene with just Iroha, Mayu, and Satoru, the vibes are so mellow. Komugi is really carrying all of their hyperactivity all at once, isn't she? I mean, I can't imagine adding Yuki or Daifuku would raise the energy levels all that much. This is amazing. Mayu leaves, and then it's Garu time, baby. All of the animals start freaking out as usual, and Satoru and Iroha leave the turtle house to see a rather horse-shaped Garu friggin' destroying their little zoo. Unforgivable. Komugi also senses the Garu and becomes human right in front of Yuki. She actually looks quite surprised, so I'm assuming that she either just didn't believe Komugi earlier when she told her about it, either that or she wasn't listening. I have a good feeling that this will come back soon in a big way. Satoru tells Iroha that he's going to handle evacuation and that she should transform. Good for him. Iroha agrees, but she's a little intimidated by the idea of fighting it alone. She doesn't have to, though, as Komugi shows up the very next moment. I really like the scene where Iroha drags Komugi off into the bushes to transform. Genuinely very funny. It's chase time, and this time Wonderful and Friendly bait the Garu into chasing them. Problem. The horse is very fast. Solution! Wonderful can use the tact now, so she summons the power of the Kirarin lion. The lion's power, like the penguin's, gives shoes, but these ones are a little bit on fire and give the wearer speedster powers. I honestly love the design a lot, and I can see them using this one a lot going forward. Wonderful speeds around it to confuse it, and they gently ask it to come back to the Nico Garden. It lets its guard down enough that they're able to perform the Friend Liberale. It's still a great attack. Satoru, Iroha, and Komugi all walk home from school discussing the attack, and Komugi gets briefly scolded about going around town alone, and she says that she just wanted to go to school. Satoru gives her a significant look. Back with Mayu at home, we see her regaling her day to Yuki, who is tolerating cuddles. Despite the hiccups, the day was a good one, and she's looking forward to school tomorrow. That's episode 8. A good one. Not my favorite, but still good. The expansion of the cast and character dynamics are very welcome, and the chase scene had several genuinely funny visual gags. Very enjoyable. Still, we've got one more school episode to go, so let's talk about episode 9. Where episode 8 was a Mayu episode, this one is all about Komugi. The episode starts with Komugi dreaming about going to school with Iroha, though her version of school just looks like a big dog run, and Iroha is the teacher. She and Iroha both are woken up by Meme, who came through the trunk on his own to give them some gifts and news. He tells them that the Nico Diamond has granted a miracle. Komugi can now go to school. He's not really allowed to elaborate further. The how and why are completely missed as Iroha and Komugi start ignoring him in favor of trying on Komugi's new school uniform. While I am slightly frustrated that I didn't get a huge exposition dump, the canon reason for it is completely in character and funny, so I'll give it a pass. I have a feeling we'll figure out what he's saying eventually anyway. But yeah, because of the huge gem thingy in the Nico Garden, Komugi can go to school now. The how is not as important as the shenanigans, because this episode might be the funniest one yet, in my opinion. As the two of them walk to school, we can see that Iroha isn't so sure about this. As soon as they get to the gates, Komugi runs off, greeting every single person that she sees. The people who know Iroha are baffled to see her chasing after this random, energetic girl who just yelled good morning in their faces. Komugi finds the soccer club practicing before school, and not knowing what sports are, assumes they're playing fetch. As such, she immediately runs over to catch the ball, coincidentally right after the goalie missed it. The guy who kicked the ball, some kid with shonen protagonist haircut, absolutely notices this. Iroha drags her off the field before anyone can ask questions. Class starts and we get the best transfer student introduction Precure has ever done. It's so funny, and probably the best part is that Komugi doesn't even realize that anything she's saying is weird. Iroha does, though, and she is dying inside. When the class asks for her surname, Satoru, ever the MVP, immediately makes up a lie about her being Iroha's cousin, and says her name is Inukai as well. Komugi is extremely pleased with this. As it turns out, the soccer kid with protagonist hair is in their class. He introduces himself as Akari Sho, and immediately challenges Komugi to a soccer match. She agrees, and they get to act on it pretty soon since they were doing soccer in the gym that day. Nice. They explain soccer and what a goalkeeper is to Komugi, and then they begin. Sho can't get anything past her. She's the greatest goalkeeper middle school soccer has ever seen. Sho is thinking that he's found his lifelong rival in the world of soccer, and Komugi is just having a fantastic time. We transition inside to some normal classwork, and we see that here Komugi has no idea what she's doing. Honestly, from the way she looks at her pencil, I genuinely wonder whether or not she knows how to read or write. That could be something the Mirror Stone granted her when it gave her a human form, or she might have to learn it on her own. If she can't read, then they have a long way to go to get her passing her classes. During lunch, everyone pitches in to get Komugi some food, since obviously Iroha's mom didn't exactly pack her lunch. Satoru continues to be MVP by giving her a spoon in the funniest way he could have to prevent her from just shoving her face in the pile of gifted lunch. After she's done eating, she's tired, so she just lays down in the middle of the hallway to take a nap, turning back into a dog as she does this. Never change, Komugi. Iroha panics. I feel for her, man. Taking your dog to school as a student sounds rough. Honestly, during this episode, she feels more like a parent to Komugi than anything. She and Satoru both. Mayu finds them there and comments on how cute it is that dog Komugi followed Iroha to school. Iroha continues to be bad at lying and basically just runs off. We see Sho training during the break, legit dragging 2 whole tires behind him in his passion to defeat Komugi in soccer. During this, he finds a Garu egg. Whoops. Iroha and Satoru really do seem like Komugi's parents here as they wait for her to wake up. They commiserate about how exhausted they are from dealing with her, but also how happy they are for this dream of hers coming true. Also, it broke my heart when she just assumed upon waking up that going to school really was a dream, like at the start of the episode. Also, the way her tail started wagging when she said she could smell Sho was so cute. This man played a fetch-like game with her once and she's endeared. Just puppy things, you know? The 3 of them head over and witness Sho balancing the Garu egg on his head as he trains. Satoru freaks out since he's the only one who's actually seen a Garu egg before. He explains it to the girls and they all agree that they have to get it away from him. They run after him and he explains that he's using the egg for balance training to help him defeat Komugi. All Komugi hears is that he wants to play more and gets excited. Satoru tries his best to explain that it's an animal egg and they really need it back, but my guy has absolutely no physical stamina and pretty much just collapses from a little bit of running. Extremely relatable, honestly. Using her incredible speed and strength, Komugi manages to get the egg back, even lapping around the whole school to lose Sho. Good timing too, since it hatches immediately afterwards. It's Garu time again, and this one is a duck. Despite not being a Kirarin animal, it poses quite the threat as it starts firing off pressurized water from its mouth, gouging into the ground. They dodge it just fine, but it makes it hard to get close. They spend quite a bit of time struggling here since the Garu can, fly. It's a little hard to pin down so they can purify it. That is, until Satoru advises Wonderful to use her new goalkeeping skills, and she catches it in her Puni barrier. They do the friend liberale, and the duck is home safe. After school, Sho declares his rivalry to Komugi for the 3rd time and asks her to join the soccer club. She says not now since she wants to go on a walk with Iroha, but they can totally play later. He's a little upset, but mostly unfazed. As they're walking home, Komugi says that she really enjoyed school, and Iroha gives her a dose of reality, saying that school really isn't all fun and games, and she needs to pass her classes if she still wants to go. Komugi resolves to do her best. And that's it. The school episodes. I greatly enjoyed them. 9 more than 8. They set up the school as a setting I'd like to see more of, and also introduce a nice supporting cast, something I've been wanting. My favorite part, though, has to be Komugi and Sho's new rivalry/friendship. The idea of Komugi having human friends who don't know that she's a dog and are completely unrelated to Precure just makes me smile. It's so funny and heartwarming at the same time and opens doors for genuine identity shenanigans. Good stuff. As far as Mayu and Yuki go, I think their episode was really good for them. This season hasn't wasted any focus yet, and I'm enjoying getting to know them. Which is good, considering what episode 10 is going to be about. I hope they join the magic side of things soon, but I'm not going to hold my breath. What are all of you excited for going forward? We're almost a fifth of the way through now, and I'm having a blast. Until next time!